Hey guys, it's day 99 of Quarantine Cuisine Shona's home. I cannot believe it's 99 days that we're into this. This is crazy. We're making one of my favorite dishes. They're all my favorite dishes, otherwise I wouldn't make them really. Well, anyway, we're making tuna steak au poivre with roasted potatoes. So, you know, a little play on steak au poivre, but we're using tuna steaks, okay? So what I did was I cleaned my tuna steaks. I have two beautiful steaks right here. And in a mortar and pestle, I took 2 tablespoons of black peppercorns and I smashed them up. Now, if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can just take the peppercorns and put them on a sheet pan and use the bottom of a pan and smash them. Or you could put them in a Ziploc bag and use a meat pounder, the flat side, to break them up, okay? And if you don't have any of those options, you can just use, you know, black pepper from a jar if you need to, okay? So we have that. So the first thing I want to do, well, I have my pan heating right here. First thing I want to do is add some kosher salt to this side. And then I'm going to add the peppercorns here. Now, the whole point of this recipe is you're adding a very generous amount of peppercorns. So again, if you don't like peppercorns, this is probably not the recipe for you, okay? I'm gonna turn them over. You like peppercorns, right, Parks?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna salt this side, get a nice generous amount of salt on there. Okay, we're gonna add the pepper to this side. Okay, a lot of this pepper is going to fall off, so don't worry about it being too crazy. But that's how we're going to start. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to get my pan ready to put the tuna in. And of course the tuna, you know, cooks very, very quickly. So I have all my mise en place ready here, which is really important. So first I'm going to add about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, now my pan is hot, so this is going to melt pretty quickly. You don't want the butter to burn. So I'm going to put my tuna in right away. Okay. And I have I put parchment with my tuna on a plate. So now that I can take the parchment off, I have a clean plate that I can put my tuna on once it's cooked. Okay, so I like my tuna rare. So we're not going to cook this very long at all. Now you could definitely do this with a steak, of course. That's like the traditional French bistro recipe. Steak au poivre usually comes with steak frites, which is like literally one of my favorite things in the whole world, that whole combination. But we're going to go just, you know, we had tuna in the house, so we're going to go with tuna. Okay, we're going to keep it really rare. And I've showed you this before, that, you know, once you're cooking your tuna, it comes up on the side, right? You can see where it's cooking. So I'm going to turn that right now. Because I want it really rare in the center.
Wow.
Look good, Park? Now, this is going to be a hot sauce that we pour over the tuna. So I'm actually going to take it out even a little bit earlier, because once we pour the sauce over the tuna, it's going to cook the tuna even more. Okay? So I'm going to take my tuna out in about a minute.
And if you had steak, would you be doing it the same way?
Exactly the same way, but then you would just cook it to your desired temperature of your steak.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I'm going to just take a little bit of this fat out. Not all of it, but just a little bit. So I'm going to use a napkin or paper towel to just kind of drag that out. I don't want to spill it out because I want those peppercorns in there, because that's going to be part of the sauce. But I'm just getting some excess fat out of there so it's not super greasy. Okay? Okay, so next we're going to move this off the flame, and I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of cognac. Okay? Now we want to light this on fire. Let's hope we don't burn the house down. that's that. And then
Jimmy liked it.
so to that we're gonna add 1 cup of heavy cream.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Are you serious, Parker? Come on. You never had steak au poivre?
Well, I've had steaks with a lot of pepper on it, but I didn't know the salt.
You've definitely had this before. Come on. Okay, so I'm whisking it because I don't want it to stick. Poor Parker. He's so innocent.
I love food, but I forget.
You forget. I know. Okay, so we want this to reduce and coat a spoon. Okay, so I'm going to get a spoon so I can actually show you what it needs to coat the spoon. Put this back here. So we're going to let that reduce for a couple minutes, and we'll come back. Okay, so our heavy cream is reducing. Now I'm going to add, I know it seems like overindulgent, but a little bit more black pepper to the sauce. I'm going to add a nice, generous pinch of salt. I'm going to add just about a tablespoon of Lea Perins. This is my little addition. And that will also help, like, give it a little bit more of a brown color. And let's whisk that up. See how that color kind of turned a little bit to like a beige instead of just like a white. And then we're also going to add just about a tablespoon more of cognac at the end. Just to give it kind of that freshness that burned away. It needs just a little bit more salt. You know, we're constantly adjusting. You have to taste it, you guys. You can't just rely on a recipe. I'm going to add a little more Worcestershire. You can't rely on a recipe to tell you exactly how something's going to taste. You have to taste it yourself and decide, you know, do I need more salt? Do I need more pepper? Does it need acid? Should I add a little lemon? Should I add a little bit more butter? You know, all these things are really important in cooking, and it takes practice. But, you know, if you taste it, then, and you get used to tasting, you'll realize, oh, that needs a little more of this and a little more of that. And you can just kind of, it's trial and error, right? Okay. Okay, so remember I told you about coating a spoon? So you put a spoon in here, and when you can put the line through it, and it holds that line, it's ready. It's coating the spoon.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to move over to our cutting board, and we're going to plate. Hey guys, so I cut the tuna. Look at how gorgeous that is, with the peppercorns on the side, and it's so rare, and you can just see how we like got that even sear on both sides. I mean, it's so beautiful. There's nothing better to me than rare tuna steak or rare beef steak. I mean, those are like my two favorite steaks, and like they're interchangeable to me. So this is such a good recipe. I have tuna chills, okay? I haven't had chills in a while because it's been so hot. Okay, so what I did on the side that you didn't see was I cut up 4 small red potatoes and left the skin on, and I roasted them in a 450-degree oven with just olive oil, salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And they're nice and crispy, but they're still soft. And the sauce is going to be so good on these also. I did these instead of French fries. So to this, just to make it even more decadent, I'm going to add a little bit of truffle oil, one of my favorite things. A little bit goes a long way. And then I'm also going to add some beautiful flaky maldon sea salt as a finishing touch on this. Okay, it smells so sick, you guys. Okay, so we're going to mix that around and put this on the plate. And this would also be lovely, you know, with some sauteed spinach or some broccolini or any vegetable that makes you happy, right? But this, we're doing kind of a traditional, like bistro, French bistro, steak au poivre, tuna steak au poivre with potatoes, okay? So, Parker didn't know what we were making tonight. What do you think, Parks?
I can't wait to have this dinner.
You can't wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love tuna, I love the potatoes. That sauce looked incredibly good.
Well, Parker said he doesn't think he's ever had steak au poivre. I've made it before, but what I can say in Parker's defense is he may not have ever had tuna steak au poivre, okay? So, let's just get that straight.
Okay. And au poivre means with pepper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I transferred my sauce just into this little vessel here just to make my life a little bit easier. And you can just see how gorgeous that is. The heavy cream and the butter and the peppercorns. And, you know, not very traditional to add Lea Perins, but I like to add it for that extra like umami flavor and makes the color on this just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go here first, Parks.
Okay.
I'm going to just drizzle. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? You're going to have to go to Behind the Recipe to find out how we like this.
I don't know. Maybe we won't like it.
No, we're going to hate this. That's for sure.
I think so. So maybe no one wants to come
But
by.
you know what? You can do it, guys. I know you can. I'll take one bite of a potato.
With the sauce?
I'll dip it in the sauce. That's for you, Donnie Deutsch. Bravo!
Oh, man. I can't wait.